Are you a music producer trying to make top 40 Billboard hits, but you just can't seem to figure out why your music doesn't sound like your favorite songs on the radio? Well, stick around, because I'm gonna show you how I went from making music in my bedroom to making music for Billboard artists. I'm gonna show you 5 secrets to help you produce radio quality music. And once you understand these 5 secrets, your music will drastically improve and you'll get closer to turning your music production dreams into a real career. So let's dive into this mindset shift I'm talking about and get into secret 1. To be a top 40 music producer, you have to stop thinking like a bedroom beat maker. Now, most people think that being a great producer is just about your beat making skills. Yes, it's important that your beats sound good, but unless you're just out here making an instrumental album, that's just one part of the whole equation. Think of it like Apple, one of the biggest brands on the planet. There's Steve Wozniak, who built Apple's first computer, and then there's Steve Jobs, who built Apple, the company. So ask yourself, which Steve do you want to be? If you want to be a great producer that makes hit records, you have to think like Steve Jobs, that brought hit products to consumers, like the iPhone, like the Mac. And he was only able to do this because he had the end goal in mind. And when you think of it, all the great producers carry the same approach when they're making hit records. Whether it's Max Martin, Kanye, Pharrell, Jack Antonoff, name your favorite producer, they all do more than just make great sounding tracks. Just like Steve Jobs, they're master visionaries, think bigger picture, and they do what's best for the song. They understand how to use their skills to get the best out of artists. Every song they produce sounds cohesive, unique, but most importantly, intentional. The beat, the vocals, the mix, the vibe, all seamlessly blend together as one. Now, being a visionary is a lot easier said than done. There's a certain skill set you need to acquire to see the bigger picture, which brings us to secret number 2. Learn the skill set of making songs, not just beats. As you probably figured out by now, the skill of making songs is so much more than just beat making. It's your ability to collaborate with artists, producers, songwriters, and ultimately finish a song. It includes things that are mental, like reading the room, building relationships, thinking on the fly, a technical skill like recording, editing, vocal coaching, or even a more creative skill like making something from scratch or helping out with the songwriting. It's knowing what to do after a demo is done and how to deal with revisions, how to add the right amount of production ear candy and not overproduce or underproduce. It's even understanding the mix and master process to ultimately get it past the finish line. So, a quick story about how I got these skills. When I was first trying to get my foot in the door 10 years ago, I started interning for producers in the industry. Because I was doing a lot of the engineering for them at the time, I had the extreme privilege to sit in their studio sessions and study how they made their songs. And what I observed was they didn't just sit around making beats. There was this whole intimate process with how they worked with each and every artist. This completely changed my perspective on how music should be made, and I realized that the beatmaker mindset I had before was slowing me down and limiting my ability to finish things. And without even knowing, this affected my confidence to even do sessions, which probably could have meant I would have had more placements, met more people if I had these skills in my arsenal. Now, while these skills are very important, I realized there was more to this mindset shift, that it's all part of a bigger framework of knowledge you need to have to truly succeed. And this leads us to secret number 3. The Hitmaking framework. This framework is my North Star and the reason for my success as a music producer. It has 5 stages you want to master: mentality, ideation, session, vocals, and finalize. Let's start with stage 1, mentality. It's about having the right mindset and how a better mindset leads to better decisions. Ultimately, making music is a series of decisions, so better decisions means better music. It's about being the visionary, thinking bigger picture. Once again, not being the best beat maker, but making the best thing given the scenario. It's how to analyze and listen to music like the pros. Are you able to hear the things that they're hearing? It's acting like a hit maker, how you carry yourself, how you make music, how you be professional. And that leads us to stage 2, ideation, which is about producing ideas effectively and efficiently. This is everything to do with your production skills, techniques, workflows, and if we really want to get granular, then it's sound design, sound selection, and arrangement too. Ideation also includes your ability to produce different genres, because let's face it, we're in an era where different genres are being blended together and good ideas come from you pushing the boundaries. And lastly, this stage is about how you stay inspired even when you're not feeling it and get past creative block, because we all inevitably do get stuck. Then comes stage 3, the session, which is about collaborating in the studio environment to make great music. The actual execution of the session. All the psychological, technical, and creative skills required to ensure that the session runs smoothly. It's understanding that there's different collaboration dynamics when you're working with producers, songwriters, or artists. And finally, are you able to get a solid sounding demo by the end of the session? I know so many situations where the producer loses the opportunity because they take weeks, sometimes even months, just to send the first demo. Now, stage 4 is vocals, which is about working with vocals to take your idea from instrumental to song. This can cover so many areas, including songwriting. Now, I'm not telling you to become a songwriter, but it's always best to think with that hat on, and whenever it's necessary, see how you can influence the songwriting with your production skills. This stage is about your ability to work with a vocalist to get the best performance, and sometimes that might involve a bit of vocal coaching. It's also all the technical stuff of recording, editing, processing, vocal layers, and effects. Now, you don't have to be a world-class engineer, but artists and songwriters often appreciate these skills and are more inclined to work with you if you have them. And let's say you're not in the studio much and you're mostly working with acapellas, then it's about your ability to work with that acapella to create synergy and cohesion between the instrumental and the vocals. And lastly, stage 5, which is Finalize. It's about how you refine your work and how you get your song from demo to release ready. This is all about your ability to handle revisions and be a finisher. Because at this stage, a song might get rewritten, vocals need to be added or taken away, there's production notes, all of the above. And sometimes that might mean putting the final mix and master touches on it. Whether you're doing it yourself or someone else does it, your job is to make sure that the song is release ready. Now, I'll share a story of how exactly this framework helped me. So recently, I decided to do a producer-artist project, and I was able to do that with ease because of my skills in these 5 stages. First off, I saved time and money from not having to hire an engineer to help with mixing and mastering the song or recording and editing the vocals. And because I don't really need to depend on anyone, I'm saving a lot of time overall because my process from starting the initial idea to finishing the song is super fast. And this becomes an advantage for me to do collab releases with artists because I'm also helping them finish songs in a timely manner. Another benefit from a career perspective is I get to charge more money than the average producer because of my skills. I'm not just selling beats, I'm selling an entire production package from start to finish. I'm also able to get into certain rooms, have certain opportunities and placements because of my abilities to do so many things within the production process. Now, I do have to admit, it did take me a lot of effort to acquire these skills and master this framework. But it doesn't have to be this way for you. It could be much easier once you understand Secret 4, which is that working hard is cool, but working smart is what wins. And what do I mean by working smart? It's doing things in a way that actually gets you better faster. So picture scenario A. Your friends who just got into music production invite you to their studio session with this dope artist they found on IG. This artist hasn't put out any music. Your friends have very limited studio experience, but they feel optimistic they can develop this artist's new sound with this new trick that they learned from a YouTuber a couple days ago. And now picture scenario B. Your friend who happens to be Max Martin invites you to his studio session where him and his team are working on The Weeknd's next single. An hour later, Ariana Grande shows up to record a verse. They're all vibing together and you're watching the entire production and songwriting process unfold. So both are learning opportunities in the studio, but which one do you think you'll actually learn something more valuable? If you were given the opportunity to learn something, wouldn't you want to learn it at the highest level? Which brings me to my next point. You need to understand that there's a snowball effect when you repeat things that you learn. Whether it's good or bad, these eventually turn into habits that are really hard to break. Let's say you learn that you have to produce the crap out of a track for it to be good, and overproduction becomes the habit. It's then going to be hard to scale back and produce the right amount because you're so used to throwing a bunch of sounds in there. Now, similarly, if you learn to do something the right way or is more optimal and you repeat that process over and over again, then doing the good thing will be the habit that's hard to break. Let's say you learn how to make better decisions from the jump, understand what it means to produce the right amount, and situational awareness becomes the habit. It's then going to be a lot easier to make things sound good because you're already so used to doing that. Now, for a little more context, before I was interning for producers, I was making music on my own. I had a bunch of sessions with artists, which led me to believe I had that studio experience. It wasn't until my internship that it all sunk in. There's different levels to what we call experience, and I was doing things on my own the wrong way for a long time. That experience that I got on my first day as an intern was more valuable than all my experiences leading up into that point combined. It helped me understand what it means to work the right way or the smart way, and made me reflect on all the times I had worked with artists before. I thought about how I could have avoided a lot of mistakes, how I could have saved a lot of time trying to figure things out, how I could have approached things in a more professional way, or simply just produce music better and faster. So what's the smartest thing you could do? It's secret number 5, invest in mentoring. When you look at some of the most successful people in the music industry, oftentimes they had a mentor behind them. Quincy Jones had Ray Charles, Alicia Keys had Clyde Davis, Justin Bieber had Usher. It's very simple. It all starts with a mindset. Your mindset influences the actions, your actions affect the outcome. And you can't get the outcome unless you have the right mindset, and that's where the mentor comes in. And to expand a little bit more on this mindset, there's going to be things you know, there's going to be things you realize you need to know that you don't know, and then there's going to be things that you don't even realize existed. As you guys already know from the stories I shared before, my mentorship journey began when I landed my first intern job. Now, while I technically didn't invest real money into this mentorship, I invested real blood, sweat, and tears, scrubbing toilets and doing all the dirty work that nobody else was willing to do. But I wouldn't trade my journey for anything, as I can safely say all my success, my placements, my relationships, my awards, my skills are all because of my mentors, and I owe my career to them. And let's say you decide to go at it on your own. It would take you so much longer to get there, if you even get there. So the question becomes, how much do you value your time? It's cliche, but time is more than money. And if you want it now and want it bad, why waste time? So to recap, secret number 1, to be a great top 40 producer, you have to stop thinking like a bedroom beat maker. This secret is about thinking like Steve Jobs, the CEO, not Steve Wozniak, the technician. It's thinking like the top producers in the game who have the end goal in mind and are visionaries when it comes to making music. Secret number 2, learn the skill set of making songs, not just beats. Here, it's understanding that making hit records requires a skill set beyond just making beats. You have to have the session skills and be a finisher, and that's how songs get done. Secret number 3, the hit-making framework. This is understanding the various stages of the production process: mentality, ideation, session, vocals, and finalize. And yes, that mastering these 5 stages is what separates the great producers from the rest. Secret number 4, working hard is cool, but working smart is what wins. Here it's understanding that there's different levels to learning, and learning can be compounded in good and bad ways. How working smart will accelerate your understanding of the framework mentioned in secret number 3. And lastly, secret number 5, invest in mentoring. Here we talked about how all the greats have mentors and why they need them, and that the smartest thing you could do for your growth is mentorship.